The point I want to make, you raise that very essential question, what do we do if we don't have enough troops there? Well, I think we have to look at the fact that this isn't a short-term war. We've been there 5 years. It looks like we may be there another 10 years. And even General Shinseki said we needed more troops. Well, at some point, you have to make a decision in this battlefield, in this war. If we don't have enough troops to do the job, then we should get more troops. But if we're going to go on the cheap to get private contractors, we're not on the cheap at all. It's costing us more money, and I believe it's causing us problems with the Iraqi people. Let's let the military replan this. Seems to me we've had bad decisions from this administration too much of the time in handling this whole war, planning for it adequately, and staffing it adequately with the U.S. military. They're the ones that ought to be doing this job. Mr. Davis?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I understand, but let me just say, troops are there, are not paid to protect civilians. That's not what military troops are trained for. I went through officer basic course at in Georgia at Fort Benning. I went through basic training at Fort Ord. That's not what troops are trained for when they go out into the battle zone. This is a unique responsibility. It is through the State Department, not the Department of Defense. And as we'll hear from the next panel, our troops are not, at this point, been trained to do this kind of work. This is a different kind of a province. Now, if we want to train them to do that, we can do that, but that hasn't been the history throughout the last 50 years of the military that I'm aware of. So we then have to decide from a cost-benefit perspective. I think this is an important conversation to have. But to date, that's not the contractor's fault. I think our argument would be with the State Department.